Boundaries are not necessarily a new concept or something new that we've heard. But in this day and age, we are being a lot more cognizant of the need to set them and the need to keep them up. So how do you actually set boundaries when you're already in the relationship, when you're already struggling? Like, how do you reset the clock and set the boundaries because you love what you have created with this partner of yours? But join me after this as we talk about how to set boundaries within your relationship. I'll see you after this. Hi, and welcome to the Black Swan Relationship Academy. My name is SIBANDA, and I am your head coach as well as your style concierge here at the Black Swan Relationship Academy. Today I'm talking about how we set boundaries, how we learn about boundaries, and what the need is for setting boundaries in the first place. How do we honor boundaries, as well as how do we communicate our boundaries? Like I said before in the introduction, boundaries are not a new thing. It's not something that we have not heard about. But I'm learning that as we grow, there are certain things that we kind of really have to take a little bit more responsibility of. And as we continue to adult in this world, there are certain things that we need to learn to communicate. And one of them is definitely our boundaries. So how do we set boundaries in a relationship? Let's say you've already been in the relationship and you didn't really set the boundaries at the beginning, and now you've realized that was quite low value of you, and you just want to set the standards again and reset and reestablish boundaries and reestablish the communication that you really intentionally wanted from the beginning. And trust me, it's not easy to even maintain the boundaries because sometimes we let them slip here and there. We might be going to bed at 9:30 at one point, and then next thing you know, your partner sleeps really late. You end up going to bed at 11:30 and you're talking through the wee hours of the morning, and that boundary has been shattered, and you've made it okay for that person to be able to get in touch with you after a certain time. So how do you actually now then reset that so that you can function and show up in this relationship in the best way you can, right? There is a course that I'm kind of thinking of that would really help you so you can delve into it. We actually did a challenge with it as well on the Swan City Facebook group, which you can join. It is free to join. If you just follow the links in the description box, you can join the Swan City group. And if you kind of scroll back to September, after the launch, what we did was we went into a challenge where we talked about defining boundaries and learning how to set them, learning how to communicate them, and how to really make sure that they are being well received. It is called the Nice Girl Rehab, and it is also a masterclass that you can download right here on the Black Swan Relationship Academy website, which, if you have a look, is right here. And it's called the Nice Girl Rehab, and you can listen to the masterclass and then go and do the challenge in Swan City. And like I said, it's a free challenge. But why stop there? Why not just go ahead and register for the All Access Pass, which will give you access to all of these courses and much more, which will give you access to the Nice Girl Rehab, mastering your feminine energy, and an energy mastery. It will give you access to so many courses. And you could always cancel when you want to. Before I go ahead, I'm just going to leave this right here so that when we come back, we can delve in a little bit more into the topic of today.
Men want exactly what you want. They want connection. They want to fall in love. They want to have a family one day. Their desires are actually no different from yours. Difference is, a man wants that with a woman he deeply desires and finds really attractive. I will teach you the nature of men, what every single man, good, bad, ugly, or indifferent, even your pastor, desires in a woman. So I am inviting you to enroll in the Mastering Attraction Masterclass. However, why stop there? Why not get into the Black Swan Nation All Access Pass and access all the courses in the Academy? why not go and figure out how to build a relationship in the most high value, most feminine, most amazing way by becoming part of the Black Swan Nation. See you on the inside.
Well, hello and welcome back to the Black Swan Relationship Academy. Today I'm talking about how to set boundaries in your relationship, especially when you didn't really set them from the very beginning. First things first is allow yourself to change. Allow yourself to have that conversation with yourself and your partner to say you are changing, and allow the process to actually happen, because you are going to be inauthentic to yourself and your partner if you don't allow yourself to have that conversation of your change and accepting the change. That is some of our biggest failures, is we don't accept our change. When we know we're changing, when we recognize, okay, there's a boundary of mine that is being violated, and we close up and we do passive things that cause us to end up creating a resentment inventory. When we create a resentment inventory, we are then now not necessarily functioning from a place where we can negotiate with love within the relationship. What we're doing is negotiating from fear and negotiating from a place that is not the best for a high value feminine woman. We always want to honor our heart and what we're feeling, and yes, we want to think through the things that we're going to say. So how do you actually set the boundaries within a relationship? I think there's a video that I did which will be coming through on Talk It Through Tuesdays, on Tuesdays with Edwina, that really talks about how we talk to men so that they listen. And this is also one of the things that we can do, is when we make our appointments with our men and we make them understand that we want to talk about something, we want to express that this is the space where you can also express that I have changed, or I have noticed that there's something that I didn't tell you from the beginning, which I now feel is ruining our relationship, and these are the changes I would like to make. What do you think about that? And we move from there. The thing is, no one ever really talks about boundaries. It's something that we learn and we pick up. We read boundaries. We read the energy around us. Like, your parents never taught you and set you down, guys, this is a boundary. You saw how people assimilated around certain things. If your mom was the passive aggressive type, you saw how your dad reacted to it, and you will either become the passive aggressive or you will date the passive aggressive. So in a way, we are always modeling behavior that we were taught, and some of it is normally unconscious. But when you become conscious of certain behaviors, you're then able to move forward to create those boundaries. There's never any set way to let your partner know that, okay, I would like to create this boundary, but it's always a communication and having that conversation and being free to have that conversation. I think that is the most important thing, is being free to have that conversation, because if you're not free to have the conversation, then we need to have another conversation about why you're in that relationship, girl. Because if you're not free to be yourself within a relationship, there's definitely something wrong there. So book a call. Let's talk about it. There might be a way to resolve that, okay? All the details are in the description box. And before we even go ahead, I always forget, do like, share, comment, and subscribe, and be a part of this universe. Be a part of the Black Swan Relationship Academy universe, because it's going down in the Relationship Academy. So I mentioned something about resentment inventory. So there's little things that people do to us, and we just and we keep them bottled up, and we start to stack them up on top of each other, and we don't address the little issues that were right there from the beginning. This is what I call the little foxes that spoil the vine. So instead of us really accumulating them, we need to address them one at a time, because we shouldn't even be having a resentment inventory. Resentment is the one thing that really destroys intimacy and really destroys you in the process of building this relationship, because we will self-abandon. We will, especially nice girls, we will do things that sabotage, because there's so many things and patterns that we are so used to that are so unhealthy. There's also something recently that I've learned about violent communication. We may think violent communication is really all about hitting someone or physical things, but there's also violent communication in when we don't say things that are supposed to be said, when we watch something and don't communicate that we are uncomfortable about that. What we're doing is robbing the other person of what we're feeling. We're robbing the other person of the true state of affairs of the relationship. They're thinking it's all going great, and then you drop this inventory on them one day and they're just like, what, where, how, no, and why I say it's violent communication is because we are withdrawing slowly, and it becomes a violence in their emotions, in their expectations, because violence doesn't only have to be physical, right? So when we set our boundaries, we need to be able to know what they are. So if you do the Nice Girl Rehab in Swan City, you will have an understanding of what your core needs are, what your non-negotiables are, what your desires are, and this will help you to say what does not work for you, what will work for you, what you will do and what you will not do, because as nice girls we always want to be people pleasers. So I guess this video is really geared towards our nice girls, because I am one of them, and I'm a nice girl in rehab, where I always have to assess and think about the things I'm doing, because as a nice girl what we tend to act from is, if I do this for you, you're gonna do this for me, right, in return. Yeah, but we don't communicate it. We expect it to be something that will be said, because again, with the way I work, where I used to work, is it was such an unconscious thing where I would do and give and then expect in return, but it was not something I had stated so that they're able to give in return. I hope that kind of makes sense, and I would love to go into a little bit more detail, but for the purposes of YouTube, I don't want this video to be too long and you'll end up getting bored. So go over to Swan City and join the Nice Girl Rehab, and if you have any questions, I'm normally live there on every single Wednesday at 6 p.m. GMT, or is it 7? I'm normally live at 7 p.m. GMT every Wednesday. If you have any questions at all, do ask them in the question box, which I normally put up on a Tuesday, and all the coaches will be with us as well. And we do a dating clinic as well, so that you can literally just ask all your questions and we'll openly answer them during a live. And if you have any questions that you would like me to create a video about, do put them in the description box and I can expand a little bit more. Or if you just want general questions, just email me, and my email address is right there in the description box. Be sure to email me and I will definitely create a video specifically for your question. And just let me know as well if you want your name to be read out, and if you want to remain anonymous, give me a name that I can read out so that you know that I've answered your question. I hope this video has really kind of alerted you to the fact that we need to be a bit more conscious about the boundaries we set, how we maintain them, and how we actually communicate them in a relationship. I may not have said much, but there is a lot more to be explored, because I feel that sometimes it's really more of an individual thing. So I would love to invite you to the All Access Pass, where you can join me and the rest of the community, the Black Swan Nation, where we answer questions directly during live Zoom, where you can actually ask your questions on the Zoom call. Just to kind of close up this video, and like I said, I like to keep it short, but sometimes it does go on a bit. So here are some 5 things that will really help you to be able to set boundaries and stop being pushed around and walked all over and being manipulated. This is how you set the boundaries. Number 1 is being self-aware. Be aware of your needs. Like I said, when you go into Swan City, you'll be able to do the Nice Girl Rehab challenge that we did, that will help you set up your core needs, your non-negotiables, your desires, and what makes you work as a human being. The second one is self-knowledge. These questions that you'll be answering within the challenge will also help you to know who you are. Know the core things that you need to function. The third one is self-acceptance. Like I said from the very beginning, we need to accept that there's certain things that make us happy and allow us to be the best version of ourselves. The fourth one is self-compassion. Allow yourself to change. Allow yourself to have those things that you want boundaries set on. Allow yourself to to ask for your core needs to be met, to ask for your non-negotiables to be met, and to ask for your desires to be met. And the last one is self-mastery. Master your emotions, master yourself. I mean, there's all of the courses that you could do, but like I always say, instead of just doing one course, just sign up for the All Access Pass, which will give you all the courses that you can do. And you don't have to join us for the live Zoom. It's just an edit service that is there for you if and when you need it, as well as the Facebook group. It's just there for you if and when you need it. Listen, I hope this has been of some help to you. And if it has been, please let me know in the comments, let me know in the emails, let me know in the DMs, wherever you find me. Just let me know, because it's nice to get the encouragement back and just to hear what your feedback is and what you think about the work we do here on the Black Swan Relationship Academy. But in the meantime, you take care of you, and remember, you are so loved, and this is why we do what we do. You take care of you.